Welcome, everybody, to Firehouse Talks with Jersey Rick. I'm Rick, and this is my able co host, Emily.
Hi, welcome back.
Everybody, this is episode number 27. The topic today is your foundation solid? This podcast here, Firehouse Talks with Jersey Rick, Igniting Leadership Excellence, is where Emily and I discuss anything and everything related to leadership. And we also come from a biblical worldview. We do
Mhm.
not support nor endorse woke philosophies. So that's it. And Emily, what are we talking about again today? Let's remind everybody.
Yeah, let's dive right in. So, today's episode, we are discussing from the first chapter of your book, The Furnace of Leadership Development. And for those of you watching, we're holding the book up. But quick side note, it's available on Amazon, on your website, I believe.
No,
Not on your
not
website?
anymore.
Okay,
I
still on
took it off the
Amazon.
website.
You can get it on Amazon, and then you can also get it in an audiobook on Amazon as well. So, quick shout out for that. But we are going to be discussing the title of the chapter, The Foundation of Integrity.
Yeah, and real quick, and just in case people are listening, they say, how come I can't get it off your website? Well, really, that boiled down to a logistical issue for me, folks, and it was more of a hassle to be selling the book off of my website and then me taking care of packaging it up, driving it to the post office, and so forth like that. And that's why I made the decision to take the book sales off the website. And if people want it, Amazon is the better place to
Yeah.
go. And if somebody says, hey, I'd like an autographed copy, well, my contact information is in the show notes and we can work out something there with that. So the question is from that chapter, is your foundation solid? Now, Emily and I, we live in Colorado, and in our area of northern Colorado, bentonite is a very common soil. It's a clay-like material. Building on bentonite requires some precise construction methods and procedures. Otherwise, there's going to be problems with the foundation. I used to work up north at our fire station number 5, and the neighborhood up there is on bentonite. And there was a lot of places up there that had problems with the foundation because of that soil shifting. And frankly, the developer up there did not do what he should have done. And a lot of foundations shifted. So, would you want to purchase one of those houses knowing that the people in that subdivision have experienced cracks? And one person that I know,
No.
she had her basement pushed in by 1 foot. So
Wow.
very, very unstable soil. So that question I asked, is your foundation stable? Oh,
Yeah. So, given that, which would you prefer, you as in our listeners, would you prefer a house built on a rock or a house built on a sand? And in the book of Matthew in the Bible, chapter 7, 20 verses 24 through 27 says, therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on the house, and it did not fail, for it was founded on a rock. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand, and the rains came, and the winds blew, and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was the fall. Or as the song goes, it went splat. So we have friends whose sister and brother-in-law have an older house built on the rock, and they have told us how solid it is. So kind of basing off of that
yeah,
verse,
yeah,
like what the word
and
said.
our friends, the house that they were talking about is back east in the location up in the New England area. So you got a comparison from two houses or a subdivision rather here in our area built on bentonite, a very, unstable type soil.
Mhm.
And our friends was telling us about the house back in New England that's built on a rock. Now we go out to San Francisco, and there's a lot of places that are built on softer soil. And during the earthquakes, they're subject to a phenomenon referred to as liquefaction. That's when
Mhm.
the soil becomes more liquid-like and contributes to movement and collapse of the buildings. And that's what happened back in 1989 during the Loma Prieta earthquake when the Bay Area was struck with a large earthquake and contributed to a lot of damage and fires. So I think just over these last few minutes, we should have established the fact that it's better to build your house on a solid foundation.
Yeah.
But what about our personal life?
Yeah. So we're going to do a character study of someone named Yvonne Missy Woods. So
Yeah,
who is she?
who in the world is Yvonne Missy Woods? She is here in Colorado, and I'm guessing that even in Colorado, a lot of people have no clue who she is.
She's new news to me.
Yeah, yeah, hey, there you go. Well, Yvonne Missy Woods is a person whose foundation has been built on very shaky sand. She worked for the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. And no, I said she worked. She used to work for the Colorado Bureau of Investigation.
So in January 23rd, 2025, there was an article in the Denver Post about her. So why don't you talk about that more?
Yeah, and I'm going to quote this article from the Denver Post and quote, a longtime Colorado Bureau of Investigation scientist who mishandled DNA testing and hundreds of criminal cases was charged with 102 felonies this week. The latest turn in a year-long scandal that has shaken Colorado's court system and cost the state more than $11 million. Translate that into us as taxpayers.
Right.
Continuing the article, Yvonne Missy Woods, 64, was charged Tuesday with 52 counts of forgery of a government-issued document, 48 counts of attempting to influence a public servant, a single count of perjury, and a single count of committing a cybercrime, court records show. The most serious charge is the cybercrime count, which alleges she altered, damaged, or interrupted data in a computer system in such a way as to cause more than $1 million in damages. That charge is a Class 2 felony, which typically carries between 8 and 24 years in prison. Woods retired from the CBI in lieu of termination in late 2023 after the agency discovered widespread problems in her work. She deleted, omitted, or manipulated DNA data in at least 1,003 criminal cases during her 29-year career, the CBI found in an internal investigation. And Emily, you want to finish the rest of that up from the article, please?
Wow. She deleted, omitted, or manipulated DNA data in at least 1,003 criminal cases during her 29 career. The CBI found an internal investigation. Wood's misconduct is expected to reverberate across Colorado's legal system for years and cost $1 million to address. The CBI estimated Wood's misconduct has already cost the agency more than $11 million, a figure that includes state funds allocated to pay for retesting and reimbursement of district attorneys, according to the affidavit. She told criminal investigators that she deleted the data for expediency because it moved cases along. Yeah, right.
Expediency.
So, expediency. So she could work 7 cases a day instead of 5, she said, according to the affidavit.
Well, there you
only an
have it.
excuse.
That's Yvonne
Wow.
Missy Woods. And for those of you, including Emily, who has never heard of her, there you've got just a brief snapshot of what her shaky foundation has done.
Wow.
And an incredible large scale impact there in the state budget. And as I mentioned here a few moments ago, to us, the taxpayers as well. It's us, the taxpayers of the state of Colorado that are ultimately paying for this. But then there's already been lawsuits that have been brought forward, even from out of state, against the state of Colorado because of Missy Woods' misconduct. Yes,
Wow.
Missy's misconduct there, because very well, it's starting to come out that there are people sitting in prison right now because of what she has done here in the past. So this is it's a very big deal, Emily.
Yeah. So that's 29 years of a lack of integrity, of living a life of lies on a shaky foundation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
A life of lies. I asked the question to myself is there's a number of questions that I have. The first one is, how can this go on for 29 years? The second one is, why didn't the supervisors start an investigation
Earlier.
themselves?
Mhm.
Yes, earlier. And I believe we'll talk about this here a little bit later related to that. But the other one is, you talk about someone with a lack of integrity.
Yeah.
How in the world can, she look herself in the mirror, look her family, her friends
Yeah.
in the mirror, knowing what she is doing? And this has been somebody in previous articles written by the Denver Post who had been awarded because she was a top performing
And
employee.
my question
Yeah.
too is, are we going to get any of that money back? Those are
No,
taxpayer.
no,
Would
absolutely,
be nice.
absolutely not. So circling back around, is there some of her coworkers were reporting to supervisors their suspicions about her activities,
Hmm.
and they were shut down. So what's behind that?
Who's protecting
And
her?
yeah, who's protecting her? There's a lack of integrity that's involved right there too.
Hmm.
I believe that there's more than just Missy Woods who's living on a shaky foundation down there at the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. And that this is deep reaching.
Yeah.
And shaky foundations, that lack of integrity is, you and I, Emily, have talked about this in the past, is that integrity, in my opinion, is the key. It's the key to our life. It's the key
Yeah.
to our foundation. It's a key to our leadership. Doesn't matter. Look at her. She's cranking out the work, but she doesn't have integrity, and it catches up with her after all these years and that spider web impact that it has. So, hey, people, I don't care how much talent you have. I don't care
Hmm.
what your education is. I don't care, how tall or short, what your weight is, any of that stuff. If you don't have any integrity, your foundation is extremely shaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, your foundation is built on that sand of that liquefaction, or what the Emily read in the passage from the Bible, sinking sand. And hey, you want to see sinking sand? Just go to YouTube and search some of the videos from the Outer Banks of North Carolina just this past year, where
Hmm.
houses were washed into the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
So what else here do we have, Emily?
Yeah, well, Proverbs 29:2 addresses issues such as this with the lack of integrity, where the Bible reads, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when a wicked man rules, the people groan. And like we've touched on, it really does seem like it. Why were the concerns dismissed? And it wasn't just Missy, it's people at the CBI that had integrity issues as well, letting it go this long.
Yeah, absolutely. But when a wicked man rules, the people groan. Yeah, hey, folks, there was a lot of us groaning when Sleepy Joe, was was in
Hmm.
office right there. So hey, there you have it. That's just a brief snapshot of
Yeah.
Yvonne Missy Woods, her misconduct while she was employed at the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. And who knows how many other people are involved in this. It's I'm dumbfounded over the fact that this could go so long when there would
Hmm.
be other employees bringing this to supervisors' attentions, and they're blowing it off. That's malfeasance.
Hmm.
That's plain and simple malfeasance. And you and I as taxpayers here in the state, not only us, but every taxpayer in the state of Colorado, is owed a very thorough and forthright investigation in this matter. Myself serving in a supervisory position as a battalion chief when I was on the fire department, that's negligence and malfeasance to overlook something like that that's taking place. It goes beyond, petty jealousies in the workplace
Yeah.
when somebody's, oh, I don't like her because she's a high performer. No, this goes much, much deeper
Yeah.
about that. Uh, About that goes much deeper than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to ask you, our followers, what about you and your integrity? Is your house built on a rock or on shifting sand?
That's a very good question, folks, and that's one that only you can answer.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, go to the bathroom mirror and look yourself in the face, in the eyes, and hopefully you can. Yeah, and ask yourself that question. Those of you who are walking in integrity, hey, congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Emily and I applaud you and we encourage you to continue in that. In the Bible, Job 31, verse 6 says, "Let me be weighed on honest scales, that God may know my integrity."
Mm-hmm.
And then in the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 3 reads, "The integrity of the upright will guide them, but the perversity of the unfaithful will destroy them." Hello there, Missy. you know, the Bible also says, "Beware, your sin shall find you out."
Yeah.
And so, for the people who think that they're getting away with stuff, and no, it's going to catch up. It's going to catch up eventually. But as I've said multiple times already during this podcast, what about the fallout? When we don't have integrity, there's fallout. It not only just impacts us, it
Mm-hmm.
impacts so many other people. And in this case, who knows how many people
Yeah.
it has impacted. Certainly her coworkers, her family, the entire Colorado Bureau of Investigation, the Colorado legal system,
Yeah.
people who may be unjustly sitting in jail right now and their families. Those people who are unjust. I'm not defending the people who are rightly in jail. If they were rightly prosecuted, good. They need to be sitting behind the bars. I'm talking about the people who were unjustly prosecuted because of how she manipulated the DNA.
Mm-hmm.
That is wrong, and then that just impacts all of their families, and those people can't get those years back.
Yeah.
So integrity, our integrity it's absolutely just key.
Yeah. So once again, we ask you solid rock or shifting sand. Which is it for you?
Yeah. So, folks, this podcast here was a little bit shorter, but Emily and I believe that this was a very crucial element to bring up and a example, as Emily said at the beginning, about integrity. So,
Mm-hmm.
is your foundation cracked? Is your foundation like that one that I described at the beginning of the podcast, where it was pushed in 1 foot by the bentonite? So, hey, thank you for tuning in and listening to our podcast. If you like it, please subscribe and share. Visit my website at fireofficerleadershipacademy.com. The link is in the show notes to learn more about the services I have to offer. Also, on my website, you can visit my weekly blog, or for those of you who are connected with me on LinkedIn, look for it to be posted up on Wednesdays. So, anything else, Emily, as we wrap this one up?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, all right. Well, again, thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Till next
All
time.
right, bye.
Bye.